G'day guys, it's good to see you again. This is I Read Reddit, and today I'm going to be reading some entitled parent stories. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I upload here daily, and if you've got the fear of missing out, then you better smash that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications. Now pull up a chair and get comfy, you're going to love this one. Note, I'm German, so this is translated. This also happened a month back, and I'm recalling the events. Long story short, bear with me, you will be shaking your heads. I'm a 21-year-old female babysitter, and I have this girl, let's call her Mia, whom I watch at least once a week, plus whenever the parents ask me to help out. Mia is 8 now, and I started babysitting her back when she was 4 months old. Yes, I was 14 at the time. And the family is great, and Mia is really easy as a kid. We're like sisters. I never rose my rate, so keep in mind that I've been working for about €1.50 per hour for roughly 8 years. And could expect a €20 gift card for both my birthday and Christmas. I'm a babysitter for fun, not for money, and I'm true to that. What I earn just about covers expenses. I have an actual job that's paying for my life after all. When Mia is with me for an entire Sunday, we go on day trips. She loves shopping and sightseeing, so I mostly take her around to bigger cities. This is where the story starts. We are on the bus on an hour drive to the next bigger city. Taking a car meant stress for me, as I don't like driving, and the train was more expensive, though both would have been a 30 to 40 minute ride. Mia and I like to go by bus. This private bus company has perks. On this particular day, I paid €10 for a return ticket. Mia, being under 10 years old, went for free. Plus, they wait for you on the way back, but causing delays results in fees. Anyway, we are both on the bus, and as per usual, I brought my old Nintendo DSi for her to play with. I can do whatever, she plays happily, it's a win. Until this entitled mum and her 10-year-old boy come along. They take the seats right behind ours. No problem, right? Wrong. It doesn't take long for the boy to notice the console and the racing game Mia was somewhat fixed on. The boy to the entitled mother goes, "Mom, I want to play!" "Well, go ahead." I thought he would like to get our attention and ask nicely. Nope. The boy jumps up from his seat, reaches over Mia's lap, and tries to snatch the game from above. He gets hold of it for a moment, but the hand strap stops him. I made sure Mia's wrist was fine and the game not broken from the rough move when I turn around, stopping the boy from another attempt. "Young man, that wasn't nice." "Oh, he just wants to play, let him play too." "Teach your child to ask properly and I will consider." "Don't tell me how to parent, kid." "Mom, I want that game!" "In a minute, sweetie." "No. It's not yours, and I'm asking for you to leave us alone." I sit back down, hoping to have heard the end of it. Way wrong. Mia's seat shakes a few times. The boy is kicking her seat. She asks him to stop, and he continues. I warned the mum I would tell the drivers. There are always 2 on the bus just in case. "He's bored. Give him the game and he'll stop." I immediately get up, quickly help Mia change into another row, and then go to the front and explain the situation when I hear Mia yelling, "Let go!" I turn around. This boy has one hand on the game and the other pulling her hair. The entitled mum is smirking in satisfaction as the boy rips the hand sling off Mia and returns into his seat holding the game. I immediately storm at him and grab it back without a word. He starts crying and screaming loudly. I don't care, it's 8 AM. This is supposed to be a happy girl's day out. Now I had Mia in tears and a bratty son with his entitled mum on my hands. "You give that back right now! My son was playing it!" The bus driver too comes to our rescue, practically pushed the woman and her son into the last row, asking us to take our seats up the front to separate us as far as possible. The entitled mum was advised to use common sense, that this was not her game and thus not hers to decide over. I didn't quite listen anymore, but heard something from the lines of, "My son only wanted to try the game. These girls were unfairly rude to him. I demand an apology." I hide my hand and give her the finger. Not that the entitled mother could see. Mia snickers. Whoops, my bad, Mia saw. But Mia was already smiling and starting the game again. Fast forward to the end of a successful shopping spree. We were signed for the last bus back, 7 PM departure, and 10 minutes early. I let Mia choose the seats as per usual, pretty much up front. There were 2 other couples waiting already, and a third arriving with us. All seemed fine, until the driver, I noticed it was the same drivers again, announced that we couldn't leave. 2 people were missing, but they would call them to either hurry to the bus or decline the seats. it would be a few more minutes. Or not. We had to wait for them. Company policy. 7:35 p.m, my nightmare comes true. The entitled mother and the son walk up to the bus, not hurrying at all, ice cream cones in hand. No messy food on the bus. We have to finish outside. Again, not hurrying in any way. 7:45 p.m, head count. We can finally drive back. Everyone on board is annoyed by the delay. The entitled mum and son probably took the seats on the other aisle right behind us on purpose, but I wasn't going to say anything yet. Lesson learned, I hoped. Bus driver 2 was driving now. Driver 1 comes up to the mum. Ma'am, sorry to bother you, but you caused a 45-minute delay, and according to our terms and conditions, the company will fine you for that. Fine me? What? For a few minutes? No way! I was told there would be a ride home for us, and that's it. I'm sorry, but you knew that beforehand. It's in our terms and conditions. No one told me that. You agreed to it, man. The company will mail you everything. I need your ID, please. No. I'm afraid I will have to involve the police then. And then he goes back into his seat. The boy shows up next to me. I want that game! I told you no this morning, and it's still no. He pulls a sad face, but goes back to his mum. It's semi-dark outside. Mia is lying spread over her seat on my lap. Not that I cared. She was tired and I expected her to fall asleep while playing. And she did, face buried in my jacket that she had folded like a pillow under my lap. I turned the game off, but with the sling on Mia's wrist, I can't put it away. The entitled mother suddenly hovers above me. She is done playing. So? My son can play now. No, he can't. It's my game. Come on. Just give it to him. He wants it and you are too old for it anyway. I don't care. It's my game. I said no, so please leave me alone now. What gives you the right? She's practically yelling. I'm worried she might wake Mia and that I could end up with a cranky, tired child. I earn it. Do me a favor and don't wake her. She's asleep. She doesn't need the game now. Ma'am, the game is tied to her wrist. I would have to wake her up to get it in any way. And then I'd be playing then, not your son. It is my game, and if I have to tell you again, I will ask the drivers for help, and you know I'll do it. Driver 1 turns around to us, giving her a stern look. I figured he was listening. The entitled mother and son moved a few rows back. I thought she was defeated. And again I was wrong. A few minutes later, I was occupied with my phone, texting back and forth with a friend. I wasn't paying attention to anything else, but watching Mia didn't fall off the seats whenever she moved. I didn't think much of the tiny hand on my leg at first, since Mia's left arm was somewhat around there. Then, Mia shoots up with an eardrum-shattering scream. I nearly dropped my phone back in shock. There is the boy right between my legs. He'd crawled right up under our seats from behind to come up and probably try to snatch the game. That was his hand on my leg, and Mia had woken up to him staring right into her face mere centimeters away. The driver was cool enough not to cause an accident due to the scream, but stopped the bus as soon as he could. Both drivers were furious. The boy was crying, the entitled mum is screaming at Mia and I for making him cry, all while I'm unable to grasp the situation for a moment, holding my shaking 8-year-old. A man from the other couples gets up and manages to somehow silence the situation entirely. This selfish girl scared my baby. She purposely screamed right into his face. Ma'am, why was your son underneath her seat? I want this girl off the bus now. Ma'am, please answer the question. Why wasn't your son seated? He's a good child. He can do whatever he wants. Boy in tears goes, I want the game, Mommy. The entitled mum moves towards me and said, You owe my child that game now, B. I ignored the insult. I had to calm Mia, trying not to explode in anger myself. I was so mad, I wanted to punch something. The boy tried to reach for the game again. I had had it with him. Admittedly, I didn't want to push him away as hard as I did, and I know I shouldn't have pushed him back at all, but since he only fell against his mother, I couldn't have cared less. I got up, face bright red, taking deep breaths as not completely losing it. You listen here, kid. Don't you dare touch us or our game again. You hurt my baby. You better be glad he's underage, ma'am. Otherwise he'd be facing charges now. Multiple attempts to steal my game for starters, and the way he crawled up beneath us, I could probably make a sexual assault out of that. Also, Child Protective Services would be very interested to learn how you've encouraged your son. Yes, I could have done that with him underage, but let's be honest, he was probably the victim of this woman's miserable parental guidance, and I wasn't going to ruin his life more than then, and I very much wanted to. You have no right to talk to me like that. Your brat made my baby cry. You owe him that game now. He deserves it. He's a good kid. She wanted to get past me herself now. Behind me, Mia still had the game. I didn't care for the game itself anymore, but she probably would have hurt Mia to try to take it. Now, I'm 5'9" and roughly 70 kilograms. I'm one straight noodle, and I really don't look like much, but I'm the only girl on an all-male rugby team. I take on guys bigger and older than her, and Mia knows that. She's seen me play. Do your trick. My trick, I can throw people over and out of the stand pretty bad. That's my standard move. But I couldn't do that now. I'd already overreacted by pushing the boy. Both drivers and the man held the woman back. She was screaming and trashing around, throwing punches and insults all over while demanding I give her son that game. The two other men came to help taming her. It took a while until she gave in and sat down. Finally, I thought once more we could get home. I had already told Mia's mum that we would be back late due to delay, but nothing more since our departure. So, I have Mia huddled over the seats again, shaking, but sunken into the game again, and I take my phone out to let her mum know we would be even later. That's when I hear the entitled mother whisper into her phone. She's obviously telling the police the story about a stolen toy, child abuse, being threatened and cornered by several men, and being too scared to ask for an early drop-off somewhere around. She was absolutely exaggerating and presenting her own twisted version of the story. I asked Mia to let me up off the seat and go to tell the drivers. They looked mortified to say the least, and contacted police in their office themselves as well. Now I had to type that out for Mia's mum as short as possible. I didn't want her to freak out about police at the drop-off, since she was coming to pick us up. Fast forward 45 minutes later, 8 cops are waiting for us. An ambulance. Mia's mum, who seemed to have been introduced herself to the police already, along with some other elderly man, who was there to pick up one of the couples. Mia is happy again, which I was overly thankful for. I was scared dead for this to have become some traumatic impact on her. It could have been partly my fault for exploding. She'd never really been in trouble, hence, had never seen me mad. Mia runs up to her mum. I follow with our shopping bag. The entitled mum and son are questioned separately in the ambulance. The rest of us have to now answer questions as well. The drivers back us up with the bus surveillance cameras. The entitled mum is busted. Both she and her child are banned to ride with the company. She faces charges for a handful of things, encouraging her son to theft, false accusations, and attacking me among them. At home, Mia proudly presented her new fabrics. I have a sewing machine, which we work on rainy days, and shirts. All within the shopping centre money her mum gave her for the day. I pay for myself. In the end, I got off with a warning for pushing the boy. The entitled mother pressed charges that were dropped due to the circumstances. The judge figured I was protecting Mia and my property in a heated situation, and that the boy's prior actions had made it necessary for me to step in. The entitled mum was fined for the entire delay she and her son had caused, 1 hour and 18 minutes in total. Was ordered to accept family assistance, and Child Protective Services were to look over the family situation as well. Mia wasn't affected in any way. Mia's mother was quite understanding and doubled my Christmas gift card. I guess it was somewhat an apology or a thanks. She said it was because I risked charges to protect her daughter and taught her to stand up and be strong. This weekend, we went on another trip. Boarding the bus, heading out, I see a boy in line who looks oddly familiar, but the man at his side doesn't. I forget about it and we drive off. Mia smiles widely as I pull the DSi game from my handbag. 2 minutes later, the boy, the bloody boy, "Give me that!" Me, unsure if it really is him, says, "How do you ask for things that aren't yours, young man?" "I want that game now!" No sorry, too rude. Go mind your manners, please." "Dad, she won't give it to me again." This bulky man gets up from his seat. To my luck, one of the drivers is driver 2 from the month before. He recognizes the boy in me. The driver 2 says, "Young man, I need to see your ID, please. Where's your parent?" "My son only asked to try the game, sir." "Yep, that's why he got banned last month. You have to get off this bus or I will have to call the police." "I bought tickets for this. I have the right to drive. The police were called straight away, we stopped, the father got arrested for resisting police and fraud. Turns out both he and his son had signed in under fake names, and his son was 11 years old by now and needed a ticket, but was signed as a 10-year-old and didn't have one. Driver 2 came to me and apologized and saw how we were doing. I told him no apology was necessary. I wasn't sure about the boy myself first. I thanked him for resolving this situation immediately. There were a few more kids on the bus this time, and Mia took over the last row with 3 other kids, sharing the game, taking turns. They had no trouble at all the entire ride though, and I exchanged contacts with their parents. We're going to meet up in a funhouse next week. Friends were made. That's how easy it can be. Honestly though, even on the second ride, had the boy asked nicely, I would have left the choice to Mia whether or not she wanted to share. After all, it could have been an opportunity to make a friend, and people deserve second chances if you ask me. But no, they felt like he had the right to have my game because he simply wanted it. He was rude. The parents were even worse. I have no bad feelings for getting them kicked off the bus. However, I feel bad for the boy. It wasn't exactly his fault if he didn't know any better. So the story starts off when I was waiting in a store near the changing rooms because I was with my friend and she was trying on clothing. I had my earbuds in my ears and I was sitting on a bench, scrolling through songs. A woman and her son were looking through clothes and her son walked over. He was around 8 or 9 years old. Hi! I look up and smile and say, hello, do you need help with something? Kinda. Where did you get those earbuds? Oh, I got them for Christmas. My parents say, they got them from a mobile or phone store. I'm not sure which one. Thank you. He walked back over to his mum and I heard him say, Mommy, can I get the earbuds that nice lady has over there? The mum looked over and saw me and I gave her a smile before she walked over. My son wants those earbuds. I was shocked. I thought she was going to ask me where I got them. I'm sorry, this is the first pair of wireless earbuds I've ever had and I don't want to give them up. No, Mum, that's not what I mean. You're a girl! So are you? The entitled mum is quiet for a moment, glaring at me. I am a working woman. I make money, and so will my son. You're just a lazy teenager who won't do anything. I was shocked. The entitled mother reached out and plucked the earbuds from my ears, and I was furious. Hey, give those back! I stood up and reached out, trying to grab her hand. Mummy, can I try these earbuds? His mum gave him the sweetest smile, and I was surprised. I thought he was on my side. He took the earbuds and handed them back to me, and I grinned, giving him a nod of thanks. Give those back! This is when my friend left the dressing room. Seeing the woman yelling at me, the entitled mom thought she had just found someone she could trick. Oh, young lady, this girl just stole my son's earbuds. My friend looked at her and gave me an amused smile, knowing I always got myself into trouble. I'm sorry, ma'am. I know for a fact that these are hers. I'm her friend after all. The entitled mum's smile dropped and she booked it for the exit. But she forgot about the stuff she had and she tripped the alarm, employees running after her. I can happily say I never saw her again. Hey guys, I read Reddit here. For more juicy content just like that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.